All right, the next question would be about, sorry for that. Oops, wait. Okay, the next question would be about the question 54, the last question for the whole chapter. This is a very typical question again. People being snatched, people fall into river, people being chased by some random animal out of nowhere. Yeah, this is a typical question for fight or flight. Fight or flight. Either you fight with a thing or you fly away from the scene. And they ask you how the following organs respond together. And I think what you can see here is it is really arranged in a very good way for you. Because eyes, what do? You see the thing, right? You see the thing. You saw the snake coming to you. Then it goes to your brain. This is a nervous system chapter. This is chapter 12. Of course, it goes to your brain. Of course, there is a nerve pathway, neurons and everything. Then you have your endocrine gland. Of course, you have your endocrine gland because this whole chapter, this whole fight or flight was based on adrenal gland, was based on adrenaline. Then, of course, it trigger your effectors, a lot of effectors, right? So I think that is quite smooth as a whole. As say, we start from eyes. Eyes have receptor. You can call photoreceptor, by the way, but it's a lot better. So your photoreceptors will detect the snake. That's the thing you see. You see the snake, the receptor see the snake, and they send. They tell your brain. They send a nerve impulse to your brain. Then your brain would know, oh, there's a snake coming, right? So the brain can then interpret the nerve impulse from your eyes. They will think, oh, that's a snake. Is it dangerous? Is it venomous? Is it whatever? Then you should make your decision. So the decision would then be sent out. They will, again, transmit. Remember, don't use any other word. Transfer, carry, transport, whatever. I don't care. I only accept one single word, which is transmit. Okay? Nerve impulse can only be transmitted, not any other method. Not any other method. Okay? Yes, cool. Then, moving on, we have the nerve impulse to where? Yep, as you can see here, an endocrine gland. Which gland is that? Yes, please remember, this is you don't have much gland to remember anyway, so this is one of the most important one, adrenal gland. Okay, adrenal gland. It is important here. It is also important in your chapter 13 to regulate your water, osmotic regulation. So yeah, this is an important gland to remember. So what do? What do you do as an adrenal gland? You will be stimulated to secrete our very important main character. Our main character is adrenaline. So you'll be stimulated to secrete adrenaline. Okay, you'll be stimulated to secrete adrenaline. Not very important statement, but a side note here, you can say, right, the main idea of adrenaline is kind of like to boost yourself, to boost everything you have. And how do we call everything you have? Everything you have, we basically say this is metabolism. So this increased metabolic rate. Okay, metabolic rate, it basically refers to every single thing going on in your body. So if you just put a single statement, increased metabolism is a very good conclusion. It's a very good summary to whatever going on here. Right. And moving on to the next two items, we have heart and blood circulatory system. So what should happen to them? If you remember, yeah, quite simple, right? Your heart is to pump your blood. So of course, heartbeat increase by pumping harder. Of course, in that case, what happened to your blood? Blood pressure increase. Okay, so these are very typical point under your heart system, heartbeat, blood pressure, or even you can mention about vasoconstriction, etc. Right? Okay, I think that's a good point. Not mentioned here, but you can talk about vasoconstriction. All this is to increase blood pressure. And why is it important to increase blood pressure? Because we need the blood to transport what? Blood transport two things. Always remember two things, not one thing, not just oxygen. Don't always say oxygen. Oxygen and what? Oxygen and glucose. This transport more oxygen and glucose to your body cells. You can also say muscle, by the way, because it's literally say muscular system, the next one. So you can also say muscle, skeletal muscle. But anyway, your body is definitely in a state of, a need of all this energy. So definitely you need to send to your muscles, skeletal muscle. Yep, you need all this oxygen, all this glucose. Right, so if you remember, the full answer is that you can start from oxygen. How do we get oxygen? Breathing. Your breathing rate, ventilation rate, and everything increase. Then glucose. How do you get glucose? stop your digestion and everything, you convert your glycogen into glucose. And with these two in your blood already, then only you increase your blood, then your blood can pump all these raw materials to your muscle. Finally, what happened to your muscle system? They are the one to contract, so they should undergo more cellular respiration, right? Because you have more oxygen, more energy, what for? For cellular respiration. So that increase. Then eventually, of course, energy produce increase. As usual, whenever you have a blood, it convert, bring oxygen and glucose. Whenever you have oxygen and glucose, it convert, give you cellular respiration. That links to energy, and energy give rise to muscle. Muscle contraction need energy. So muscle contract more rapidly. Muscle contact more rapidly. Hence, as a final so-called, like as a final bridge to link it back to the question, what happened to the boy? The boy are running. So yeah, as a final conclusion, when muscle contract more rapidly, by the way, I think it's better to say skeletal muscle. Just a small thing to pick here, right? Yeah, always be specific with the muscle you are having. If it's blood vessel, you have smooth muscle. If it's running, you have skeletal muscle, right? And finally, yeah, you run. So they run faster. Whatever it is, the boy should run faster. And that's how your adrenaline help you. Because if you don't have that, whatever dose of adrenaline, you won't run faster, right? You will just run at normal rate, and you may be running very slow and whatever, like your PJ class. Then what happened? Then you just get caught. So thanks to our stress hormone, thanks to adrenaline and a lot of other metabolism, thanks to this whole assay, you are able to respond more than normal. Look at all the word here. More, increase, more, faster, more. It's all talking about increase. It's all talking about increase. It's all talking about how it can be better than normal. And that's the purpose of this whole reaction here, right? And remember, your essay must always include this kind of word because that is a key. That is everything we do here. If you just do it like a normal day, a normal school day or whatever, it's not going to help. You are not going to run away, right? So you must make it increase, more. All right, that's it. Thank you.